Hello, my most beautiful besties in the entire world. We are going to do something that I've never done before. That is 5 looks, 5 palettes. All of my beauty friends do these style videos. I've personally never done them. Some of you are like, yes, do it. Some of you are like, no, please don't. But I want to try it out. I want to see kind of like what the dealio is. How does this work? So originally I was going to do 4, but then we had the Blend Bunny X Donnie Darkowitz show up. So I wanted to just include that in today's video. So with that said, sit back, relax. I'll have all the information about the palettes linked down below. And let's get started on the 5 looks, 5 palettes. Okay, I cannot believe I have never done a 4 looks, 4 palettes video before. This is my first, so I don't really know like what to do, but we're just gonna go ahead and dive right on in. So the first palette we actually have is from a brand new brand called By Us. This is the Garden Busters palette. Now By Us is actually the sister brand to Odin's Eye Cosmetics. This is their sister brand called By Us. So meet the brand new Garden Busters palette. Welcome to Natural Fantasy collection, where whimsical stories come to life through color. Each shade in our collection is a piece of nature's magic, carefully curated to bring makeup to life. From featherlight mattes to bold hues like carrot orange, lemon yellow, and grape purple, this palette brings nature's wonders to your eyes. Now this palette is actually launching on August 25th at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which would be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It does retail for $42.90, and you guys can use my code to save 10% off. So here is this palette right here. Now I will say, starting off, I do not like the packaging. Like, I'm gonna be really real with you guys. I do not like the packaging. It's too kid-like. Like, this looks like kid makeup to me with the way that the outside packaging is designed. It's like, it's kid-like. It doesn't seem, I don't know. It's just, it's childlike, and I'm not a fan of the packaging and like the design. Not to mention the palette is very, very bulky. Like, do you see how thick the palette is? Not the biggest fan of how bulky the palette is and the design of the palette. And then when you open the palette on the inside, you are going to have really beautiful shades on the inside, but look at how much space is between each shadow. Again, that's not something that I really am vibing with. Like, I get they're trying to be a little bit different and stand out from the sister brand. I totally respect that. But I just don't like how there's so much space between each shadow. They could have definitely utilized this more. They could have made this a smaller, thinner palette. Right now it's really bulky. It's just kind of like thrown at you. And I don't know, I'm not vibing with this. The color story, though, I do think the color story is really pretty. I could definitely see where they're getting the elements of the garden and the fruits and veggies in this. And I will say, based upon swatching these swatched beautifully. The shimmers swatch like a dream. They're so buttery and creamy and very pigmented. So I'm really curious to see how well this is going to perform. But first impressions, I'm just not the biggest fan of the packaging and the design. But we're going to see how the formula does. So we're going to start off with this shade called Green Apple right here, and we're going to put that in our inner corner. I'm going to take that Green Apple shade right here, and we're going to start to push this in we're going to start to put this in our inner corner. I am using the Ultra Eco brush in the shade 203, and we're going to start to just stamp this shade right here. Now, this will be definitely a brighter neon shade, and anything neon and pastel, they too tend to blend themselves away. It is kind of best to lay down a color base underneath it, but I really just kind of want to try out the shadow for what it is so I can get a feel of how this brand performs. So we're just going to lay this down right here, just like so. That's really pretty. Then I'm going to take the shade called Carrot Cake. We're going to do that on the outer V. I will say, you know, it's so funny. I feel like one of the only people out there that I'm not the biggest fan of carrot cake. You think I would be because like the spices and stuff. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I'm going to lay this down right here. This color is gorgeous. This is the EO4 brush from Ultra Eco. And I will say this brush is so soft, y'all. All right, so I'm going to start to blend these 2 shades out. Surprisingly, they're blending quite nicely. They're not really blending themselves away. But I'm going to take this shade called Lemonade right here. And we're going to start to blend that over the green and the yellow. There's definitely a lot of pickup in the pan. Just so you guys know, there's definitely a lot of pickup. We're going to see how well this performs. There is some fallout on the face right here. Okay, then I'm going to take this shade right here called Sunny. And we're going to lay that right next to this green shade. That's pretty, although it's kind of like looking almost like green-like on here. Okay, so what I like about that so far is I literally laid that down on top of that green shade, and it didn't cause the green shade to move or budge or like dissipate at all. I do like that. Like, it's holding true to its color, which is really nice. All right, then I'm going to go into the shade right here called Tomato Juice. It's like a really cool, like, multi-chrome style shade. And again, and these feel just like freaking butter. Like they feel so incredibly soothing. They feel so incredibly smooth. So we're gonna lay this right here. Again, it's not really causing that orange shade to shift too much, which is really nice. And then I'm gonna take the shade called Peach to kind of connect the two together. All right, so it's like I do try to blend that shimmer on that orange. It is starting to disappear right here just a little bit. Something I definitely expected to happen. It's not too bad, but I will say these shimmers are really pretty. They're almost a little bit too smooth because I could tell that just by putting my finger in here, it's definitely starting to shift this shade around, like it's causing it to indent and move around. So sometimes their shades can be too soft, but it is performing very, very nicely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade right here called Soil, and we're gonna go ahead and line our upper waterline with that. I'm gonna come back with my lashes and the other eye done, and then we're gonna do the bottom line, then we're gonna do the under eye together. I think I'm gonna do like purple and blue and kind of utilize the rest of the palette that I can. I will say that I am not really liking how this is not really blending the best, but I'm gonna keep working on it. Okay, so now the makeup is on, I'm gonna go ahead and do the under eye with you guys. So I'm gonna go into the shade right here called Fig, this purple shade, and we're gonna blend that softly underneath my waterline, and then we're gonna go in with the blue and probably the shade called Pear, because I'm really gonna try to utilize as much of this palette as I can and make it super colorful. Since it's a very colorful palette, I kind of want to have like a really colorful eye look. I'm gonna take the 201 brush. We're going to dig into the shade called Blueberry, and we're going to softly blend underneath that right here, like kind of like mix the two together very softly. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade right here called Pear to blend that out underneath as well. Just make it nice, soft, and diffuse. Give it like a little bit of a pink undertone. Definitely some fallout. Okay, so then I just threw on some white liner. I think I'm gonna go in the shade called Onion right here. It's really pretty, like purpley, almost like dual chrome shade. And we're gonna put that in our inner corner today. See how well this looks. Just like so. Yeah, it has a little bit of purple and orange reflect to it. It's really pretty. Okay guys, and this is the final look. Alrighty guys, so here is the final look using the Garden Busters palette by Us Cosmetics. I will say I absolutely love how my look turned out. I think it's very like colorful, kind of definitely matches the vibe of the palette. I love the formula. I think the mattes in here blend really seamlessly. They definitely have some cook up in the pan and definitely some fallout on the face, and the shimmers in here are so creamy and buttery, a little bit too soft because they definitely do shift when putting your finger in it, so just be a little bit mindful of that, but they perform so nicely. You don't even need any sort of glitter glue for the shimmer. So I will say I really do like this palette based upon first impressions. I definitely want to keep playing with it, but first impressions, I do really like this. This will be live on August 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you guys can use my code to save you guys 10% off this palette. Now, the only negative thing I will say about it is I'm just not a big fan of the packaging or the color scheme of it. I just feel like it's too kid-like in my personal opinion. It doesn't look like, I don't know what I guess I'd want it to look like, I guess. And maybe I'm just kind of basing it off like the sister brand with Odin. So I'm kind of like, this is a little bit too cheesy, too gimmicky in my opinion. I wish it like had just a different aesthetics to it, and I just wish they'd made a smaller pan size, a little bit too bulky for me. But other than that, the formula itself worked beautifully and the color stories are really beautiful. I'm not the biggest fan of the packaging. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into my second look. There is literally a massive semi-truck outside my apartment right now carrying 4 big U-Haul containers. We already have someone that dumped their containers in a parking lot like over by my apartment, but like there's like a little empty lot there. And now they are they dropping off more fucking containers? They're just gonna take up all the parking spot with U-Haul containers? They don't own the place. Hey guys, we are back for look number 2, 3, or 4. I'm not sure what order this is gonna go in because I am pre-filming this. Well, like obviously, but we're back for another look for my 4 looks, 4 palettes. In today's look, we're gonna be rocking the Daylight palette from Alter Ego right here. First off, can we talk about how beautiful this packaging is? Like, my gosh, this packaging is just so this packaging is just so beautiful. It just reminds me so much of like an autumn morning, walking through the forest with autumn leaves, a cold brisk breeze going through your hair, little birds are chirping, you have a nice little like pumpkin spice latte in your hands. I don't get to do any of that because we don't have like that stuff like that here, but this is just the vibe that I'm getting and I'm living for it. So meet the new Alter Ego Daylight palette. Delve into the captivating essence of daylight, inspired by the serene hues of forest caught in the gentle grasp of fall. This collection presents 15 rich shades from deep comforting browns to radiant coppers and soft beige, designed to capture the season's colorful transition with a versatile mix of matte, satin, and shimmer finishes. Each pigment is formulated for superb blendability and enduring color. Now, this palette actually does retail for $22, but as always, you guys can use my code to save you guys 10% off. They also did launch a brush set to go with this as well. I have currently been using the brushes. I think you guys have been seeing me use these. These are the 3 brushes I've been using so far. I really have been enjoying their brush set. Like, their brushes are super, super, super soft. They're very easy to work with they work very beautifully with eyeshadow. Like, they blend it like there's no other. They lay down pigment and they're just the softest brushes ever. I've really been enjoying these. So I'm gonna definitely be using these today. Now, as always, Alter Ego does kind of dupe out palettes, so that's what they're known for, duping out high-end palettes for a very, very low cost. So this is supposed to be a dupe of the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So here's the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, and here is the Alter Ego Daylight palette. So as you guys can see, they are very, very, very similar color scheme for sure. They both have their own formula, but I will say Alter Ego tends to have amazing formula, especially when compared to Natasha Denona. This is usually like a $59 palette. This is going to be a $22 palette, so definitely a third of the cost. I will say you could definitely see the biggest comparison. So we're going to have to dive right on in. I'm not going to do like a full comparison video because this is a 4 palette video, but you guys can definitely see where Alter Ego did get their inspiration and, well, copy from, honestly. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on into this palette. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my Sigma eye base right here. And we're just going to do a really pretty simple eye look today. Something just very neutral, something you can wear every single day. So I'm going to go into the shade right here called Coffee. And we're going to pack this along our outer B. I don't know when you're seeing this. Truly, I don't know when you're seeing this, whether it's going to be on Tuesday or Thursday. I think you guys are probably going to see this on Thursday. So by the time that you guys see this, this would have already happened. But my maintenance people came over today to let me know that they're going to be doing they're going to be selling my brand new AC unit tomorrow, Tuesday. So I don't really know what I'm going to do because it's about a 5 to 6 hour installation. And Tuesdays are my filming days because I'm not working at Disney then. And so I have to have my dogs kind of locked up in the room with me, which I don't mind. But like, I'm kind of wondering, am I going to be able to even film knowing that it might be like so loud? Like, I don't really know what I'm going to do. So I might have to spend the rest of this day pre-filming content for tomorrow so that I can like edit while they're here. I don't really know. I don't really know how this is going to work out. So I'm going to definitely like let you guys know, or I guess you'll find out, I guess, in my next look. I'm not sure. I don't know. You'll find out soon how the whole installation worked. Like I said, I've been pre-filming so much recently since I started my job back at Disney. I try to find a balance because I do work 3 days a week there, and they do take up pretty much my whole day. So I try to find a balance where I like film I film Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and now sometimes Friday, or sometimes I'll film like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or I'll film Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but I'll film multiple videos in one day. So we're going to kind of like see how this is going to work out with them kind of coming in and doing the installation. But we definitely need a new AC unit. So like, I'm not complaining in the slightest because we need a new AC unit. And oh my God, this is so pigmented. This is so messy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to take the shade called Airy to keep buffing that shade out so it doesn't look like so harsh and so muddled. Because that is exactly what it's looking like right now. Okay, so now that shade is laid down, I'm going to go into the shade right here called Shine. This is a really pretty like shimmer. Now I will say that comparing the two palettes together, the Alter Ego formula does feel a bit different. Like, it is laying down the shadow nicely, but they don't feel as like creamy and buttery as they once did. I don't know why, but they used to feel a lot creamier and butterier in my opinion, and now they're just kind of not. They're just more like softer. They're just more like, I don't know, I can't describe the formula. Like, a little bit like, I don't want to say hard pan because they're not, because they do perform nicely, but I don't know, they just feel different in my opinion. Okay, I'll worry about blending that in just a second because I want to take the shade right here called Mist, this really pretty shade right here, and we're going to start to put this in the inner corner. Like I said, this is a very easy eye look, one that you can pretty much do on the go, just to create a really beautiful natural everyday eyeshadow look where you can make it like bold, you can make it dramatic, you can make it less. Like I'm gonna definitely be focusing on blending this out a little bit more so it's a little bit softer. But I just want to show that you could do a really easy, beautiful, neutral eye look with this palette. It's kind of like what it's designed for, but it's really easy to work with, and you can kind of do this look within like 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to quickly clean this up, do the other eye off camera. We're going to come back to do the under eye, and then that will kind of complete the second look using the Daylight palette from Alter Ego. All right, so to finish off this look, we kind of had an incident where like my mascara went all over here, so it's like really looking a little rough. I tried fixing it, but there's really nothing more I can do. So I'm kind of disguise it with like a little bit of inner corner highlight. So we're going to take this shade called Embrace right here, and we're going to put this underneath our waterline today. I hate that that like did that to me. I was like, oh gosh. So we're going to run this right here. This is super pretty. Very, very light. And I am going to mix it a little bit with this shade called Lucid and Path. We're gonna kind of mix those two together just a little bit. All right, let me throw on some black I'm gonna throw on some black mascara underneath my waterline and a black liner. Then I'm gonna take the shade called Divine and Sunlit right here. We're gonna kind of mix the two to do my brow line and my inner corner. We're gonna lay those two shades right here because that is such a pretty shade. Okay. Then there you have it, guys. This is the final look using the Alter Ego Daylight palette. Okay, guys, so here is the final look using the Daylight palette. Now, this does retail for $22. I absolutely love the outside packaging. It is so much like fall for me, so it's like really getting me in the mood for fall season. Clearly, I love fall so much. And I will say the color story on the inside, she's cute. Like you guys know, I'm not really much a neutral girl. I love color through and through, but I do like to rock a simple neutral eye look every once in a while. So this is a really cute palette. The mattes do blend really nicely. There is some fallout to them. The shimmers, they're not as wowing as they once were, or maybe just my taste has evolved ever since I first discovered Alter Ego, but they do lay down nicely. Like they do lay down nicely. You could use glitter glue if you want to make them pop even more. I found that I don't really need to do that. I feel like they just kind of work all on their own, which is really nice. This is a dupe to the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. Now I will say if you already own the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, you really don't need this palette. However, if you've never gotten your hands on the I Need a Nude and you want to get something that looks just like it at an affordable cost, then I highly recommend checking out the Alter Ego. You're going to get the same quality. If you're going to get the same quality at $22 versus like $69, which I think is definitely a steal. So overall, I do think this is a cute palette. I think it's perfect for the holiday season coming up. So Alter Ego, thank you so much for sending this my way. Now, on to the next look. Good morning, everybody. We are doing another look today. Today, we are going to be featuring the Donnie Darkowitz Presents Little Miss She Never Misses Face and Eye palette. This is the brand new Blend Bunny Cosmetics collaboration with Taj. And Taj, I've been talking about this on my new makeup releases. She is such an incredible freaking artist. Like her makeup skills are just beyond what I would ever, just beyond what I think I could ever achieve. And she's truly such an inspiration. And she finally got to collaborate with Blend Bunny on her Little Miss She Never Misses palette. So this says, curated with Taj favorite action-packed shades, sure to create the looks of your dreams. Multi-chromes, iridescence, and true sparkly shimmers complete the perfect buttery mattes. This actually does retail for $47. You're going to have 25 shades in this palette. And I know a lot of people online were saying that this is just another rainbow palette. Like this looks so similar to all the other ones. And yes, it is another somewhat rainbow palette, but at the same time it's not. Like I can truly see the difference between her palettes. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Primal and Surge, which I believe actually were discontinued palettes from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This kind of gives me back that like nostalgic feel that I have for them. Plus I love the way that she did the layout. So she made it so easy for every single person out there to create a really beautiful cohesive look without putting too much like stress and thought like what I should do. She literally laid it all out in a row for you. So you could just literally just go down the row to create the most beautiful look. She really put the shades complementary to each other. And I just love the way that she laid out the shimmers. Really beautiful, because then you could also do little quadrants of the palette. Very, very, very aesthetically pleasing. So I'm going to do two different eye looks today. I'm going to try to utilize the purple row and probably the orange row because I do play with a lot of green and blue. So I'm trying to go out of my comfort zone and play with shades that I don't play with that often. So I went ahead and I went ahead and laid down my eye base right here. This is the Sigma eye base right here. And we're going to go into Rest Mayhap right here, and we're going to do our outer corner, and we're going to softly diffuse it with the shade called Powerline and Moony right here. Now, I have been following Taj for several years now. I think I actually first discovered her over on Twitter. And like I said, her artistry skills are just like no other. I wish I had just like a quarter of her talent. So if you guys want to go follow her, I definitely recommend following her over on TikTok or Instagram. I don't know if she uses Twitter that often anymore, or X, whatever you want to call it. But over on TikTok, she's consistently live showing off these most amazing, gorgeous makeup looks. And I'm just like, oh my God. And she's live for like, I swear, 4 or 5 hours, if not more a day. I love it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Power Line to softly blend that out. I'm going to take the shade called Is It Every Day to continue to blend that out. It's going to be a little patchy. It's going to be a little messy right now. You just got to trust the process. Okay, we'll worry about cleaning that up in just a minute because I want to go into the shade called She Never Misses. It's this beautiful, beautiful shimmer shade. And I'm going to lay this right next to that purple shade. I'm not even going to use glitter glue because the way that Blend Bunny's formula is, you don't even like need glitter glue. Now, granted, it does help, but it just performs so beautifully on its own. All right, then I'm going to take the shade called Kenneth right here. It's like this beautiful, like, icy lavender shade. It is so stunning. We're going to lay this right here. And then I'm going to take the shade called Erased. This beautiful like multi-chrome. And we're going to lay that right next to that right here. We're looking on this side. Now we're going to go into this side where I want to do like an orange eye look. So I'm going to use like one of the multi-chromes that I think they have in here because I feel like it'd be really, really pretty. So I really hope this works because I don't know how it's going to turn off on camera because like in person it swatches between like a golden green, purple green moment, but then on camera it could swatch to be something, in camera it could look completely different. So we're going to go into the shade called At right here. We're going to do our outer corner. That shade's laying down so nicely. Wow, that is such a pretty orange shade. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I brought what was left in the corner, and I'm going to go into the shade called Fuzzy right here. There's definitely a lot of kick up in the pan, but it's okay. It's easy to work with. All right, then I'm going to take, so there's the shade called Goblet of Fire in Cowboy Country. This is Goblet of Fire. They do look somewhat similar between the two. It's kind of hard to tell. The Goblet of Fire has more of a purple-green undertone to it, whereas the country one has more of a red golden undertone to it from what I'm noticing. But they were both very similar in color. So I think I'm going to go into the Cowboy Country right here to lay down right next to that orange shade, just like so. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this shade right here called Rock Steady. Really beautiful, like yellow shade. Ah, it's so pretty. And we're gonna lay that right here. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up, come back with my lashes on, then we're gonna come back to do the highlighter and the lips, and that's going to complete this portion of, I guess now 5 looks. 5 palettes. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, I actually did just go in with these shades called Mezzo and Taraja, these 2 shades for underneath this eye. And then for this eye, I went in with Pain, At, and Fuzzy to kind of do this eye with some white liner. Both, I have to say, the palette is absolutely gorgeous. These shimmers and the mattes are performing beautifully, but like I'm not surprised because they are Blend Bunnies. So it's a really beautiful combination. I love how this ended up turning out. So we actually do have a highlighter. Now this is the Donnie Darko Wiz highlighter. This is called Simply Put. It's a 4-pan quad palette. So you have Skin of a Killer, aka Twilight Stan. We have your Blink, Doorknob, I Don't Know Right, and then I'm Your Problem Now highlighter right here. Now I have to say the highlighter formula on this palette is absolutely superb. Like Blend Bunny makes some amazing highlighter. They're so high quality. They blend like a dream. They have such pigmentation to them. They're absolutely beautiful. So this actually does retail for $34. I think for today, I'm going to take the shade called Skin of a Killer because this just looks like it's going to be so freaking gorgeous. And we're going to apply this to the face. Like, oh my God, this is exactly what, this is what Twilight should have given us, is Skin of a Killer. Do you guys see that shine? They were not playing with this absolutely were not playing with this. Ugh. Yo, the way that it looks like I'm so wet and shiny, I'm living. I'm living. Then I'm going to take the shade called, I think it's called, I don't know, right? Or IKDR right here. This is beautiful, like blue purple one. And we're going to put this as the inner corner for this eye right here. Oh my God, yes. And then your blank doorknob, we're going to put as the inner corner for this eye. And we're going to do it as a brow bone highlight as well. That is so pretty. Okay, so for lips, we have a lip liner and a lip gloss. So this is the Donnie Darko Wiz X Blend Bunny. This is going to be a lip liner in the shade called 89 Fine. I love that she is 89 because she just turned 35 and I'm turning 35 in October and I'm just like, oh. So this retails for $15. You can get the gloss and liner. So we're gonna go ahead and line my lips on. This is gonna be like a really, really, really like dark brown. But I will say what I love about this is that this is actually a twist up. More brands should do this for lip liners. It'll be so amazing. So we're gonna use this. It's almost like a black lip liner on me. This is so creamy. Now I'm gonna blend this out really fast before we go in with the gloss. Okay, so I blended it out. Now we're gonna go in with the lip gloss. Now this is gonna make a clear lip gloss with like a pink undertone, but I love the packaging. It's like the Matrix, like all the falling numbers, and it is coating actually on here. This whole package has coating on here, which I actually really like. So we're gonna fill this in. So I will say, the lip liner I think is really pretty. It definitely is more like a dark brown to almost like a black lip liner on me. Although I know that this on any person of color is just gonna be freaking stunning. I definitely can utilize this. I think the only problem that I have is not even like the color. It's whenever I put the lip gloss on, it tends to move the lip liner. I don't know why. It's like the lip liner is not really drying down. So it's causing it to shift, which is kind of weird because I let it sit for like 2 minutes, but then the second I put this on, it's moving the lip liner, which is kind of weird. But I still think it's actually a really pretty color. I'm kind of like vibing with this. It's kind of just, this is nice. All right, guys, and this is the final look using the Blend Bunny collaboration with Donnie Darko Wiz, aka Taj. And I have to say, I love the way that eye looks came out. I think it's really beautiful. What I love about this palette is that it is very versatile. So there are 25 different shades in here, but you can utilize them so much. And yes, they seem like there's some repetitive colors in here, but it's the undertone that's completely different. I love how they do that. It makes it so easy to create such gorgeous looks with all the different undertones that are in here. So it makes it beautiful for any person out there trying it. I also love the way they laid everything out. They make it so user-friendly for those who are intimidated by color. Just by going down the row, you can create such a beautiful eye look. I think that Taj did such a beautiful job capturing her love for makeup in this palette, her artistry in this palette, and I just love everything about it. I think they did such a phenomenal job. And like I said, if you've never got a chance to get like Surge or Primal, this is definitely kind of like a little nod to that, the way that the color scheme is reminding me of. So if you never got to get that, you guys can definitely get this. This is available right now. If you guys do want to get your hands on it, you guys can use my code to save 10% off. Really am loving this. I will also say I'm really impressed with the highlighter palette. This palette is freaking gorgeous. I use 3 out of the 4 shades. I love Skin of a Killer. Like, I'm sorry, but this is how Twilight should have done their like highlighter, is this right here. That is definitely Skin of a Killer. I am living for it. These are beautiful. Not only can you use these as a highlighter, but you guys can definitely use them as eyeshadows as well. So there definitely is a multi-use palette. And then we do the lip kit. Now, while it may not be my perfect lip kit for me, now then we have the lip kit right here. I will say I really do like the formula. The gloss is just so like high shine. It's non-sticky, has a beautiful smell to it, and the lip liner is very, very, very creamy. I just wish it would dry down just a bit. At least mine didn't, so I might have to set out setting powder next time to get a try out, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. So Taj, congratulations on this gorgeous collaboration. You and Blend Bunny killed it. Now on to the next look. Alrighty guys, for look number 4 my eyes are like still kind of stained from the last look, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. For look number 4, we have the Gourmande palette right here. So this actually does retail for $44.99, and it says Gourmande is the sweetest palette to date. Create your best pastel looks, unicorn looks, and sweetest cotton candy inspired makeup with this late summer delight. Inspired by our company's name and our love for gourmand perfumes, she's an inspiring treat. This palette includes 2 duochromes, 1 multi-chrome, and 1 rainbow shifting hollow chrome. Now, if you guys don't know, you guys can actually use my code to save 10% off with Gourmande Girls. And I will say this is a really beautiful palette. Now, granted, we are definitely in the fall season for me, but I can see why this would be a great way to wrap up the summer season. Because I know for some people it's still summer, but for me, it's definitely fall. So we're gonna go ahead and go into this look. I'm trying to beat the clock because my maintenance people are supposed to be here anytime now to do my AC. Like they're gonna replace my AC. So I'm trying to like beat the clock. All right, so we're gonna do like a like cotton candy mermaid unicorn vibe. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here called Mer. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But y'all, I am trying to beat the clock because my maintenance people are gonna be here at any point because our AC needs to be replaced, okay? And the AC unit that needs to be replaced is literally right outside the store. Like, they're right outside the store. So, like, I'm trapped in here for, like, the next 5 to 6 hours, depending on how long he takes. My dogs have to be kept in here, so is my cat. I'm sure we're going to lose AC at some point because, obviously, they have to replace it. So, I'm trying to, like, film this as fast as I can. I'm just like, ah! And I still might film because I have one more palette to do after this. Because originally I was just going to do 4 looks for palettes, but then the Blend Bunny came in and I wanted to get that look going too. So I decided to do, wow, there's a lot of fallout with this. I decided to do 5 looks, 5 palettes. So I'm challenging myself. This is now my 4th look. And we still have 1 more palette to go. And there's a lot of cake up in the pan. Just be mindful when playing with this. This is why I always like to do my eyeshadow first. But I'm also not surprised because they are pastel shades and pastel shades tend to just do this anyway. I'm going to take the shade called Macaroon right here to help to blend that out. It's definitely looking a little patchy, but it's probably just because it's a pastel shade, so they're very light to work with. See right here. It could be my fault because I did wash my face right beforehand. I did use my skincare, but for some reason I really wanted to stay. We're about to fix that in just a minute. Because I want to take the shade called Sorbet right here. This is such a beautiful, like, duochrome, multi-chrome moment. This is so pretty. Yeah, look at how gorgeous this is. I am in love with that shade. Like, I wonder if I can get it to show up on camera the way it needs to. I'll pull up my mirror in just a minute so you guys can see. Do you see that shift? Like, right now, there we go. Like, that kind of helps on the eye. Do you see that? It's, like, definitely between blue and icy lavender. Oh, gosh. I think the maintenance people might be here. Oh, no. I'm trying to, like, rush. Now, we're going to go into the shade called Caraco right here. We're going to put that right next to this shade. Y'all, this shade is stunning. Guys, that is so freaking pretty. That to me is just so stunning. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is how the eye look is looking right here. This is a little patchy right here, but that's honestly like not a big deal because of the fact that it is a pastel shades, and I really do know how pastel shades work. So for me, it doesn't really bother me too much that it's kind of like being a little patchy because this is going to get wiped away anyway. I'm kind of like obsessed with how this is looking. So I'm going to try to clean this up. I'm going to try to fix it just a little bit, and we're going to come back with the other eye done. And I'll give you guys my thoughts on this palette. So something I realized is that it is not wanting to blend right here. Like, I am struggling to get it to blend, but for some reason on this eye, it had no problem blending. So I'm wondering if it's just this eye that's just kind of messed up. Maybe because my leftover like skincare on it. Maybe because I used makeup wipes earlier. I'm not entirely sure, but it didn't want to blend the way that I wanted it to. But on this eye, it did. So I think it's more me than it is the actual shadows. So we're going to go back in to finish the eye look. I'm actually going to take the shade called Raisin right here, and we're going to blend it out with the shade called Violet. So we're going to take Raisin and Violet to blend it out underneath right here. And with Raisin, so far, I am absolutely loving this look right here. I think it's so freaking pretty. I always play with like purples and blues, and then when I'm done with it, I'm always like, why don't I play them more? Because I think it looks so freaking pretty. And I'm just like, I need to branch out of my comfort zone more often. Okay, then I take the shade called Bonbon right here just to do our inner corners. This beautiful like silver shade. We're going to put this right here. Oh my God, yes. All right guys, this is the final look. Okay guys, so this is the final look right here. I have to say, I think this look is absolutely beautiful. Like, I am literally obsessed with how this look came out. I think it like is a perfect way to wrap up the summer season. Though I'm already in fall, I feel like this is the most perfect way to wrap up the the summer season. I will say the shades in here are really beautiful. They're gonna be light pastel shades, so they are gonna have a little bit of so they are going to blend away just a little bit, but you just have to use the right color base underneath it, or just kind of pack it on, or just have like a really soft blended look if you want to. I really will say that the shimmers in here are just gorgeous. I love the way that mine came out. Really, really pretty. There's definitely some fallout with this, but overall, I think this is such a gorgeous palette. I think Gourmande Girls kills it every time when they do a palette. They have some amazing formula. And like I said, this is available right now. If you guys want to get your hands on it, you guys can use my code to save 10% off. And I think that this is just a beautiful like gourmandes style palette. Perfect way to wrap up the summer season. Now with that said, let's go on to our final look. Okay guys, for our last look, we're actually going into the Paleo palette right here from Cleona Cosmetics. This is actually gifted to me in PR, and I'm still kind of like, because I don't really own much from them. Their nail polishes are phenomenal, and I got to meet them when I was in New Orleans, and let me just say they are absolutely fantastic. I love meeting both sisters. So this is the Paleo palette right here. This retails for $74.82, which is definitely a steep price point, but the reason being is that there's gonna be multi-chromes and duochromes in here pretty much throughout the whole palette, which makes it more expensive. But meet the Paleo palette right here. It says our Paleo palette is back with a remastered look and formula. The specialty palette contains 12 shades and a variety of formulas inspired by the Mesozoic era and natural prehistory. Paleo is the most neutral in the series, but has a gorgeous selection of both warm and cool tones. Our talc and filter-free formula delivers luxurious quality products with a high concentration of pigments, proudly handmade in Canada. First off, the outside packaging is stunning, but the colors on the inside, y'all, I am still just like, this is beautiful. And I love how prehistoric it is. Like all of like the prehistoric names like Pangea, Crater, you have Magma, you have Tectonic, Glacial, Arctic Water, Fossil. Like this is so like dinosaur-esque, and I'm freaking living for it. So we're gonna go into this today. I do have a code with them. It's code Allie if you guys want to save 10% off of anything Cleona Cosmetics. I do have a few single shadows from the brand, but I never actually played with their palette before, so I'm so excited. So we're gonna try to do like a icy blue slash neutral moment. I like how I laid it out where it's like all blues and then all like neutral shades, but I'm gonna kind of probably mix like this shade and this shade together, try to do like yellow and blue. I love yellow and blue together. It's usually like a great combination for me. So we're gonna go into the shade first called Fossil to start from the outer V, work our way in. I can't believe we're on 5 palettes, y'all. This is crazy. Wash my face 2 times, and legit, the shimmers I've been putting on the other palettes are just like not going away. So we're just gonna deal with them, guys. It feels so awkward. All right, so let's go into the shade right here called Fossil. Love the design in this palette. So awkward. All right, so we're gonna lay that down. We're gonna start to blend this out. There's definitely some fallout, but we're gonna start to just blend this forward. Yo, my eyes are like, girl, you've done enough work today. Take a break. Yeah, maintenance here, and my AC unit's literally right out there. So if I'm like whispering at some points, it's just because like I think he can hear me and I feel awkward. Or to move this forward. Seeing that it's getting patchy right there. It's my eye. My eye is being really messed up right now. I don't know what is going on with it. It is just not wanting to work with me today. This is the 3rd palette in a row that I played with where it's just messing up. Literally. Oh, I put the wrong shade on. Ooh, messing up nonstop. All right, we're gonna worry about cleaning that up in just a minute. I'm gonna take the shade called Arctic Waters, and we're gonna lay that right next to that. Y'all, this is so freaking pretty. So we're gonna put this right here. Do you like help? I'm gonna take Trench right here. I'm gonna take Trench right here. We're gonna put that right next to this blue shade. Okay, I'm gonna worry about blending that out in just a second. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna take the shade called Magma, and we're gonna blend that right above that shade Fossil right here, very lightly. There's a lot of kick up in the pan, and there's definitely a lot of fallout on the face. I'm gonna take Pangea, blend right on top of that. It's gonna be messy. We're gonna try to trust the process. I'm gonna go into the shade called the shade right here. I don't know how to say that. We're gonna put that right next to this blue. I feel like it's gonna be really pretty right next to it. But we're gonna have to clean this up. It's looking rough, but I think you guys get the idea of like what I'm going for. My eye just keeps watering right here, so I feel like it's causing this to have some issues. Clean this up. I'm gonna take the shade called Marine, and we're gonna use that to line our upper waterline today so we can blend our real lashes and our false lashes together. This is how we're looking right now. I'm gonna play with it off camera to see if I can get this to be a little bit more better. I love how this looks. This right here, I'm not the biggest fan of. We're gonna do the other eye off camera, guys, and then I'll be right on back. Okay, so to finish off the under eye, we're gonna go into Tectonic. Then we're gonna blend it out with Magma, and then we're gonna blend it out with Pangea. We're gonna do all three of those right underneath the waterline. If you hear my dogs whining, I'm so sorry. They're just hearing a lot of commotion out there right now, so they're like, what is going on? So I lay this down. My eye is watering because my eye is like, girl, you did 3 different eye looks at this point. She is frustrated. Now, I'm going to take some of my highlighter. Take some of my Iconic London highlighter. And we're going to put this right here. I'm going to go into this shade right here called France to do our waterline today. It's gonna make this really pretty blue shade. Same highlight in the inner corner, and this, my friends, is the final look. Okay guys, so this is the final look right here. This is my first time ever playing with a palette from Cleona Cosmetics. Mine is like the individual shadows. I will say, one, I absolutely love the outside packaging. I think it's so freaking beautiful. But two, the color story on the inside is just gorgeous. It is just gorgeous. I love that this is supposed to be like their cool tone and warm tone neutral palette, because to me, it definitely is very colorful. You can definitely create neutral looks with this, but it's a very colorful palette. It literally like represents like prehistoric dinosaur age for me. I don't know what it is, but I'm absolutely living for this. I love the outfit that I created, though it's like a little muddy right here, and I think it just has to do more with the fact that like this is my 3rd look that I'm filming in a row, and I'm trying to be like quiet because, you know, and so my eyes are just like, bitch, she's had enough. She's had enough, but I still wanted to like film even though they were here. So I will say this palette is a little on the expensive. I will say this palette is expensive, but for the quality that you get, it's definitely worth it. Thank you so much for sending this my way, and that, my most beautiful friends, wraps up all 5 looks using 5 different palettes. So thank you so much to all the brands who did send me these palettes. I had so much fun doing this. Let me know if you guys like this style video, and if you guys want me to do it again, let me know in the comments below. But that, my most beautiful, precious friends in the entire world, wraps it up for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channels, R for Life, where you guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband Corey. I don't know why I pointed. And the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. Bye. Hopefully with running AC, because it's so hot.